Welcome to the Painter Marketing Mastermind podcast, a show created to help painting company owners build a thriving painting business that does well over $1 million in annual revenue. I'm your host, Brandon Pierpont, founder of Painter Marketing Pros and creator of the popular PCA educational series, Learn, Do, Grow, Marketing for Painters. In each episode, I'll be sharing proven tips, strategies, and processes from leading experts in the industry on how they found success in their painting business. We will be interviewing owners of the most successful painting companies in North America and learning from their experiences.
And so today he is here to be your co-host, but also to reveal the new era of contractor marketing and what will actually work in terms of marketing for 2026. Welcome, Brandon. Good to see you again.
What's up, dude? Thank you. Guys, we click that link. We got an absolutely killer offer for you. I'm going to walk through it more at the end, but I can tell you, if you want to scale in 2026, there has not been an offer like this before. Click the link. Essentially, we're going to find over $50,000 for you, or we're going to pay $1,000. So click the link. Absolutely killer offer. Pumped to be here. Thank you guys for tuning in. You have made a good investment in your business. Can I get just a 2026 if you're hungry for 2026? Let's go to 2026 in the chat, 2026 if you're hungry for 2026, because I am. I want to scale. I think it's been a little bit weird, a little bit wonky. The economy, a lot of things with the tariffs and uncertainty and, obviously all kinds of craziness politically. And so I think there's pent up demand. I really do believe that. And we saw that with COVID, when everything shut down, there's COVID, you basically had to walk outside and say, I paint good. And all of a sudden, boom, hired, right? All these subcontractors all of a sudden thought that they could run their own businesses and then didn't need a subcontract anymore, but they didn't put any systems in place. And many of those businesses are no longer really doing that. They're back to subcontracting or worse. So we're going to be talking about that today, about putting the systems in place that you guys need so that you can grow and scale. I do believe 2026 is going to be an awesome year. If you guys are looking to scale, I'm very bullish on it. I'm a finance guy, so I use words like bullish and bearish. I'm very bullish on 2026. Let me share. Yeah, Leonard, there is the kicker, brother. You got to have a business and be able to invest into your marketing. There is the kicker. All right. New era of contractor marketing. What will actually work in 2026? Are we good? You guys see it? Sweet. Yes. Let's do this. So a little bit about me. Who here, out of curiosity, trying to see how many new people we have. This is our fourth event. I've spoken probably 30 times at PCA events and other events over the past 6 years. Who here, just put new, N-E-W, new, if you haven't heard me speak. Just new. If I'm a new face to you, if you haven't put there, because I'm going to introduce myself, but I want to see if I should actually take time on that for just, you guys already know. Okay. All right. Well, we got a couple people. Cool. Welcome, guys. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. Bill, Frandy, Nina, thank you guys for tuning in. Welcome. So I'm presuming if I'm new to you, then the PCA might be new to you. Maybe you've heard of it, but I assume you haven't been to events because I speak at basically all of them. Go to an event. I know Daniel just pitched it. I'm a huge supporter of the PCA. I think ultimately that's how you level up your business. We complain about chucking the truck. A lot of you guys had questions for Jason. By the way, Jason, awesome dude. Been friends with Jason for a lot of years at this point, gone to a lot of his events. The dude is awesome. If you're new, if you haven't heard me speak, you're new to Jason as well. I can't talk highly enough about Jason. But you haven't been to a lot of PCA events or any, you haven't been to a lot of this stuff. Kudos to you. So let's go for tuning in here. There's a whole ecosystem. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So I hope you guys will join us for in-person events and everything as well, because that's how you're going to level up your business. It really is important. We're entrepreneurs, right? Everyone in this room is an entrepreneur. We're not painters. I'm not a painter at all. But it doesn't matter. You're not a painter either. Not if you own a painting company. So, all right, a little bit about me. So very, very involved with the PCA, member of a lot of their committees. Painting Contractors Association is the largest nonprofit industry trade association for painters, at least in North America. I'm a member of their Bureau of Speakers, so I run some Sherwin-Williams events, and then I'm an ambassador for them. I speak positively about it. I've been doing it for a lot of years, and eventually they just wanted to make it official. So that's neat. written 2 books. I'm a proud veteran of the Florida Army National Guard. This, at some point, I probably need to stop doing this, but some of you guys are new, so that's cool. I rode a bull. I did it last year at the PCA Commercial Conference. I didn't grow up around rodeos, didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what I was going to do, but one of my friends, Jesse Ramos, who's a lunatic, came up and at the PCA Commercial Conference last year, he said, "Hey, Brandon, I'm gonna ride a bull." And so I, sometimes I speak before I think. I think a lot of men sometimes struggle with that, maybe some women. And so I spoke before I thought, and I said, "Yeah, me too," thinking that he was, it was a joke, or he's talking about a mechanical bull, or obviously not a real bull, because that would be insane. But he was talking about a real bull. The words had come out of my mouth. So we ended up going to a rodeo, paying $50 so we could ride this bull in front of 200 people that also paid $50. 200 people that paid $50 to watch about 8 people ride a bull, none of who were professionals, which to me meant, just through kind of logically reasoning that out, that this is basically a coliseum and someone's going to die. And so, terrifying experience. I did last 7.76 seconds. I'm massively proud of it. Has nothing to do with anything except for the fact that it was at a PCA event. So sometimes really neat stuff and crazy stuff happens too, in addition to growing your painting company. A little bit about Painter Marketing Pros. We have generated over $250 million, over $250 million over the past 6 years. So when I'm talking about this stuff, there is experience. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of campaigns, over 300,000 leads that we've generated. We've scaled over 400 painting companies. So please trust me that I do have experience when I'm talking about this stuff. I write in APC Magazine. I run a marketing column called Painter's Playbook. If you're not a subscriber to APC Magazine, it is the only real magazine in the painting industry at this point, premium one. I go to paintmag.com, sign up. In Paint Magazine, I also contribute in their Ask a Pro section. And then we won PCA Industry Partner of the Year for the past 2 years. Big deal. Testament to my team. And then we have a lot of happy painting companies that we've worked with. Check us out on Google, Painter Marketing Pros. Check out our reviews, and you will see that. So, all right, the brutal truth. Going to hit you guys with some truth. So most painting companies do not fail because of low lead flow. Who here, and just be honest, I've been there. So my background, the background that maybe actually matters here, is that I was in finance. So I was in finance. I went in investment banking. I went in private equity. I was a numbers guy, which is why I like marketing. I like ROI, or return on investment. I like all that stuff. But I then started an auto detailing business, and I didn't know sales. I didn't know marketing. I didn't know what I was doing. I walked in, quite frankly, with swagger that I didn't deserve, because I thought, well, I know finance, I know operations, so this will be fine. Other guys are succeeding in business. It was not fine, not in the beginning, because I didn't know how to generate leads and I didn't know how to sell. And I figured out pretty quickly that is the main catalyst to be successful as an entrepreneur, and I didn't possess that skill set. So I ended up taking a very deep dive, and I've continued to take that dive over the past 10 years through sales and marketing. And that's how we have now Painter Marketing Pros, which I started 6 years ago, because I was able to scale the auto detail company and then exit. But in my mind, when I was starting the auto detailing business, it was always, I need more leads, right? I need to find more leads somehow. I need to shake my network more. I need to go back and talk with complexes maybe I lived in, and work out joint venture partnerships. I need to get consistent lead flow. And I wasn't looking at it the way that I look at it now. So who here, and be honest, this is me asking you to be a little bit vulnerable if you're up for it, because the vast majority of you think this way. So if you put in the chat, you're not an outlier. You're just honest. Who here, if you just put new lead, who here do you think that's what you need? You need new leads. Like, that's the main thing that you need. And the other stuff's not as relevant. Just put new lead in the chat. Just kind of want to see who's honest. Some of you guys, that might not be the case. For over 50% of you, again, have generated, I've worked with over 400 painting companies, and I've talked with thousands of painting companies. So yeah, new lead, sweet. So that's actually, we generate leads, right? Painter Marketing Pros, that's our number one thing that we do. We do a lot of stuff. The number one thing that we do is we generate leads. So if I'm saying that's not really the kicker, then there is something to place. There's some stock to place in that because of who it's coming from. So your new lead, so Jane Doe, homeowner Jane Doe, your new lead is always going to be your most expensive lead. The new lead will always be the most expensive lead that you can get. The repeat, the referral, those kinds of leads, the upsell, right? Taking the lead and actually making it more valuable. If you're doing an interior project, selling an exterior, upgrading the paint, upgrading the warranty, whatever, all that stuff is where the true money lies. So the new lead is essentially an engine, but where the true money lies is the second, the third, the repeat touches, and then expanding that network. So we're going to get into that today. But painting companies don't fail because they don't have enough leads. Not really. That is an issue. If you don't have any leads, that's an issue. But where they fail is because the marketing is disconnected, unpredictable, and it's impossible to scale. So even when they're getting the leads, they're squandering the leads. And here's a concept. When I speak in person, I'll look out and usually at a PCA event, one of their local events, there will probably be like 120 people in the audience. And at the expo, which is their flagship annual event, there might be a couple hundred people in the audience. And so I'll look out and I'll point and I'll say, every single one of you, you could operate a painting company in the same market. You could have the same lead. Jane Doe homeowner is the same lead, same project that she wants done, same market. You guys, let's say you run similar companies. That value of that lead is different for every single person in that room. And so there's this misconception that a lead is good or a lead is bad, right? There's this misconception that you close the project or you don't close the project. It's this super myopic, it's this super narrow-minded binary view of lead flow, but that's not how it works, right? Because what are your odds of closing? Jason Phillips, he's an expert at sales. So when you get Jane Doe, how quickly do you get in touch with her? How much do you warm her up before you actually get there? What does that process look like? That's going to affect your close rate. That's going to affect what profit margin you ultimately can close Jane Doe at. If you can close at higher profit margins, obviously that lead is worth more to you. Once you complete the project, how likely are you to get a review? Reviews are worth a lot of money. If you can get a review from Jane Doe consistently and another painting company can't, Jane Doe is worth more to you. Now you get the review. How likely are you to do business with Jane again? How much do you keep in touch with her? Do you typically have repeat clients, or is it, hey, just on to the next lead? Jane, she's history. Jane needs to get painted. She needs another paint project. Average homeowner needs a new painting project about once every 3 years. So we don't want to just leave Jane. If we plan on being business more than 3 years, let's work on Jane's house again, right? Does Jane have a business? Does Jane, maybe she runs a small HVAC company, right? Can we paint something else for Jane? How about Jane's friends, referrals? How about Jane's neighborhood, right? Do you have a system for actually generating additional leads in the neighborhood? Do you have a system? Do you have some sort of official referral process? Because now you can get more leads from Jane, right? So all this stuff, do you have a really solid online presence? Do you have a really solid, basically, brand? So when I give you that lead for Jane Doe and Jane Doe goes and looks at you online, because she's going to, especially when things are a little tighter, like they have been this year and last year, and things are kind of weird and wonky, Jane's going to do a little homework, because Jane's a little scared of the economy and the tariffs and everything. So she wants to make sure she's going with the right company, a company that's going to be around, a company that's going to have a warranty, that's going to honor it, that has good reviews, has a portfolio. What does that look like? That's going to affect your odds of doing business with Jane. So that's why there's so many things. I just highlighted half, maybe a third, but I think you guys can start to get the picture of this. Not like it's a good lead or it's a bad lead. That's not it. There are some leads that are higher quality than others, but it's marketing and sales is so much more nuanced than that. It's so much more holistic than that. So that's one of the things I want to get into today. And ultimately, this is about setting up systems. So it's about setting up marketing and sales systems. Guys, if you have questions, by the way, put them in the chat. So if you have questions as I'm going, I want you to put them in the chat, because I'm going to leave time at the end. My team's going to compile those questions. We're going to make sure that we hit those. So put those in the chat as I'm going through this. I don't want you to have a question and not get it answered. So I'm going to leave plenty of time for that. But 2026 rewards companies with systems, not channels. So again, like, well, how do you get leads, right? You go on these painter Facebook groups. Good Lord, how many painter Facebook groups are there? Hey guys, what do you guys think about direct mail? Oh, direct mail sucks. Oh, direct mail works for me. What do you guys think about Facebook ads? Oh, those leads are crap. Don't use Facebook ads. That doesn't work anymore. Well, it's working for me. So everyone's viewing it like, oh, there's this one holy grail. There's this one silver bullet. There's this one. It's not. All these channels work and all these channels don't work. It depends how you run it, right? And ultimately, you don't want to have just one channel. So you want to have a system. All this stuff works and it all cannot work, right? It comes down to you. That being said, if you're in a tiny little town, there's certain situations where you might actually be a special snowflake, right? And I think I follow Alex Hormozy a lot. I'll probably reference him a couple of times. Got a huge fanboy of Alex Hormozy. He's a really successful marketer, entrepreneur worth hundreds of millions. But Daniel's basically friends with him. So Daniel's got pictures with him and stuff. I'm not that close with him, but I have talked with him for a while. He essentially says everyone thinks they're a special snowflake, right? Well, my business, blah, blah, blah. It won't work in my area because blah, blah, blah. There are very few circumstances where that is true. If you live in a town with like 12,000 people, I mean, we have some painting partners that maybe that 30 or 40,000 people in there. And Daniel Stroud, the guy who he was the testimonial we just did, he's doing over 3 million. We're on track to march to over 5. We've only been working with him for a year and a half. I think he has 60,000 people in his service area. I mean, that's a big head trash misconception. Like, we don't have a big enough population. We're at 500,000. We're at 750,000. Our population is 300,000 and we're capped out, right? So there's so much head trash going on. Odds are very good that your company is not a special snowflake. It does happen. Odds are good it's not. So these are right here. These are some of the marketing channels. These are real channels. So we have website, SEO, Google Business Profile, sales system, Google Local Service Ads, social media, social ads, Google Play. So all this stuff is important, and you actually need to do all of it. But again, the problem is viewing it as just independent silos. Like, I get all my leads from SEO. I love SEO. SEO is the best way long-term to grow your business. That and repeat and referral. I love it. Paid ads gets you paid now. So paid ads helps you scale, and it allows you to get more control over your business. But I love all this stuff, but relying on only one channel is a massive, massive mistake, right? So the problem is that painting companies are just relying on one channel, and they're kind of doing all this stuff separately, and they don't have a system. So the way that we fix this, what this presentation is about, is the flywheel reveal. So we break it down into 3 sections. So number 1, you have to attract, right? And so this sounds kind of silly, but painting companies don't think about this. They don't think about what is their offer. They don't think about why would a homeowner or a commercial property owner or commercial property manager, whoever your avatar is, why would they want to do business with me? Right? There's just like very little processing of that. What is my brand? What is my value proposition? What makes me stand out? What makes me special? And by the way, it could just be how you look, right? I mean, don't be dirtbag. Please don't be a dirtbag. Most of you, hopefully all of you, are not that. You're not chucking a truck. You're tuning in on this. So you probably run a pretty solid company. You probably care because you're tuning in right now to better yourself and better your business. The vast majority of painting companies are not doing that. Your competitors are not doing that. So I'm going to assume that you run a pretty solid company, right? So it could be that you don't have a super special warranty. It could be that you sub out your work, right? That's fine. I'm a huge fan of the subcontractor model for painters. It could be like, well, I look at my painting company and I don't know what makes me different. It's the customer service then. It's your brand image online. There's so many things that we're going to get into that will help you attract people and ultimately establish trust, right? The convert. So once somebody pulls in, this is where it's, well, hey, it's a good lead or it's a bad lead. Well, I called them and they didn't answer. Who here has thought that before? Who here has thought that? Just put a 1 in the chat. If you're like, well, I called them, they didn't answer, therefore it's a bad lead. Put a 1 in the chat. I know many of you have thought that. I called them, they didn't answer, therefore it's a bad lead, right? And then compound. This is where, how many clients are we getting reviews from? How many clients are we doing repeat business for? How many clients are we getting referrals? When we step foot into a new neighborhood, I walk into this neighborhood, I do a client, oh, this is nice. The houses are pretty nice. I service a home. That's my neighborhood now, right? So when I ran an auto detail business, if I do that, I'm now going to pepper that neighborhood with flyers. I'm going to door knock that neighborhood. I'm going to direct mail that neighborhood. I'm going to take before and after photos of the house. I'm going to talk to the homeowner about it so they don't get upset. Take before and after photos of the house, and I'm going to direct mail that to the neighborhood. I'm going to offer a referral program to the homeowner that gives them a $250 or $150 Amazon gift card, gives 10% off the next project for any people they refer within the next month. I'm going to give them that. I'm going to follow up with fridge magnets. I'm going to follow up on their 1-year anniversary. I'm going to check in 6 months from now. That house and that neighborhood is mine now, right? That's how you want to think about these projects. So that's the compounding. I'm going to get reviews. I'm going to get a video testimonial. I'm going to use these assets to now increase the value of every single lead that I have moving forward. So I'm going to get more leads, and I'm going to make those leads more likely to close because I have more assets. I have more trust. I have more backing. I'm creating a flywheel, right? So that's the compound. So homeowners focusing on a track. Homeowners do not convert from one touch. Who here thinks AI has changed the game? Just put in AI if you think AI has changed the game. I'm very interested in that. People are real into AI. That video, if you were here at the beginning, we got about 500 people on right now. Awesome. I think about half of you guys were here right when the thing launched. We had a video, we had a song that went off about painter marketing pros and profitable painter CPA and this event. That was AI. AI can do some really cool stuff. Basically, DJ AQ, he's kind of hosting this whole thing. He was the DJ on that thing. Here's what AI is doing. So AI is improving a lot of operational efficiency. AI is not quite where I would want it to be in terms of the sales stuff, but a lot of automation is there that can help you, but that's been there for some time. We'll get into some of that. But AI is also breeding mistrust right now. We see videos. I see these videos, these clips on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And sometimes I don't know if it's real or not, right? So we see the videos that like Soros and all these AI video platforms are becoming so good that it's hard to know what's real. And it's just going to continue to become harder to know what's real. So homeowners, when you have a lack of trust, when people are starting to kind of doubt the reality of what they see, they can't trust their own eyes, then the trust factor that you need to establish goes up. So that trust factor is huge. It's already the number one thing for contractors. And if you think why do referrals matter so much? So if you think about the logic of this, so many painting companies they grow through word of mouth. Who here, if you just put it in the chat, who here, if you say word of mouth, who here has primarily grown through word of mouth? Probably a lot of you. The ones that are ultra aggressive, maybe not. But painting companies, they have this badge of honor. I don't need to market. I just do good work. You guys ever thought that? I don't need to market. I just do good work. I grow through word of mouth. How about you do good work and you market? How about you do that? Right? So if so many painting companies grow just through word of mouth, meaning they don't really keep in touch with past clients in a systematic way. They don't give them collateral and incentives like hard copy stuff and emails, and they're not reaching out to them saying, hey, just want to remind you of our referral program. Hey, just want to remind you of our repeat business program. As a loyal client of ours, we offer you X, Y, Z. They don't really have anything like that built in, but yet they grow because they came, they painted the house, and then that person called them back, or that person referred them to their friend. Hey, I talked to Susie. You did her house. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting my whatever painted. Can you come out and give me an estimate? Why does that work? It works because the trust is already there. You've essentially de-risked it. Guys, I'm a little tired. You have de-risked it. So you have reduced the risk for the other homeowner or the commercial property owner, or whoever, because they see, okay, my friend or my neighbor or my family member or my whoever, that you did work for them and it went okay. It went well. You didn't steal from them. You didn't mess up their house. They came and I went and I talked to Jill and she said, yeah, they did a good job. Pretty good job. Yeah, the house is good. Looks good. Now I know if I call you, now I know you're not going to screw me. Odds are good that you're not going to screw me. Odds are better if I call you that you're going to be okay, especially if I say, hey, Jill referred me. Just so you know, we got kind of a network forming over here. Jill referred me. So she said you did good work. So do good work for me. Then you're going to come out versus if I go to company whoever and I bring them out and it's just a new transaction. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do good work or not. So why does that matter? It's because you were de-risking it for them. You were reducing the risk. So when you touch homeowners, when they see you, this is subconscious. When they see you, when they see a yard sign, when they see a wrapped van, when they see a Facebook ad, when they go on and like, oh, I've seen this company. Now I'm really interested. I do think I want to get a painting company. Let me go on best painter company near me. And then Google puts you at the top. Oh, Google recommends them too. And then they see the Google business profile, and then they see a Google local service ad, and then they get a piece of direct mail from you. And then boom, 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 boom. It's like the universe is saying, hey, this painting company's solid. You're going to be safe if you use them. Proof, right? So the homeowner, they need to be touched 5 to 11 times. Think about Coca-Cola. I don't expect a lot of chats here. Probably some people will joke. If you don't know what Coca-Cola is, just go ahead and put Coke. in the chat. I think everybody knows what Coca-Cola is. We'll get a couple guys who are probably joking, a couple gals, but Super Bowl commercial. What are you going to see a lot of in the Super Bowl? You're going to see a lot of Coca-Cola commercials. You're going to see billboards, Coca-Cola. We're going to have, it's Christmas time. Santa's going to come out. Santa endorses Coca-Cola. It's all he drinks, right? That and milk. The kids put out milk. He drinks that too. We know what Coca-Cola is. Why the heck do we need to see it? It's to put it here, right? It continues to establish brand, establish trust, like make sure it stays top of mind for us. You guys need to do the same thing. You guys need to do the same thing in your local service area. So you want to touch people. You want to touch them online, offline. You want them, the more they can see you in the more different mediums. So a medium would be the method that they see you, whether it's a Facebook ad or on your website or a piece of direct mail. Those are all different mediums. The more different mediums and the more frequently they see you, the more you breed trust with them. They start to think that you're a really solid company. So John, let's meet John. John, the homeowner. John notices his exterior paint is fading like most homeowners. He starts with Google searching best house painters near me. Why does Google matter? If you are going to look for a painting company, if you're going to try to look for a plumbing company, if you're really looking for any service, and you might go and you might ask your friends or your neighbors or your family, like, hey, do you have any referrals? Hey, I need to do XYZ. Can you refer anybody to me? No, you're not sure. Okay. Google's my next best bet. Google, because I trust Google. I use Google. Google's the most search engine. I mean, I don't trust the company at all, but I trust the results of Google, right? So I'm going to go on Google because they've generally given me good results. And because I don't have a personal referral right now, I don't have a personal connection. My next best bet is to trust Google. So when Google puts it up at the top, okay, that means something to me because that's how SEO, search engine optimization, works. They normally don't put Chuck in the truck on the top. That's a whole nother 4-hour webinar, how that works. But I can tell you, Chuck in the truck is not going on the top of Google. He's not. So then when there's a company on the top, okay, now I want to reach out. I'm going to investigate a little bit. I'm going to go on their website, probably going to go on their Facebook page. Again, it's been a weird year or two. So I'm going to do a little more research because I'm a little scared, holding the dollars a little tight. And then I'm going to call and be like, hey, found you guys on Google. Can you come out and can you give me a quote? Right. Now, when you do a retargeting ad, so retargeting ad is if somebody goes to your website, you can actually start kind of following them around. I'm sure you guys are seeing that with Black Friday and Cyber Monday. You went and you looked. I bought a massage chair. I probably shouldn't tell you guys that, but I like to work comfortably. So I'm either standing or I'm reclining. That's how I work. I work a lot. So I don't like sitting. Anyway, standing or I'm reclining. I bought a massage chair. I can't tell you how many ads for massage chairs I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing them all over the place, just following me around, right? So you can create these retargeting ads and it starts to just kind of put in your brain. You can do that as a painting company too. So there's all kinds of things that you can do to market effectively. But John searches, he finds you, he goes to your website, he looks. John's not ready to pull the trigger yet because it's a big, major decision. Even if you come out, he's a little scared. He's got to find time in his schedule. I don't know, holidays are going on and I'm already taking time off work. I don't know. What if the painting company doesn't even show up and I take the day off? I'm going to get to this later. I'm going to get to it later. He bounces. Then all of a sudden he sees your van drive by. Then he sees a yard sign. Then and it reminds, you know what? I'm going to go check that company out again. He sees again. Now he's actually reaching out to you for an estimate. So familiarity becomes action. So after John sees your brand several times, he goes back to your site. This time he fills it out. He actually wants to get an estimate and he becomes a lead. So this, again, in the more, this stuff's all related. The more our kind of spam or scam filter goes up, which is super high right now with AI and everything else going on, the more it goes up, the more trust you have to build. You can say, yeah, but the AI videos aren't about painting typically. They're just whatever. Doesn't matter. We're all just naturally so skeptical right now that you have to just naturally work that trust over and over and over again through different mediums. So that's where this flywheel really comes into play. So 3 pillars. Pillar 1 is attract. You want to dominate every place the buyer looks. Think about this as the universe is telling the prospective, either residential or commercial buyer, your target avatar, the universe is telling them, this is the painting company to use. This one. They're going to think it's kind of random. It's not random. It's highly intentional. So they're going to think this is the painting company to use. So you're going to have a website that looks professional. If you're small, if you say, hey, I don't know how to build a website. I can't invest into some marketing agency right now. I can't do that. Go to Wix, go to GoDaddy. They have really easy website build. Just put up a 1 page website. There's a template. You can hire a contractor to do it on Fiverr or Upwork, Fiverr.com or Upwork.com. You can go on, you can hire, probably pay them $100. Now all of a sudden, boom, when you have a business card, you hand it to somebody, or somebody goes and researches you and types in your abcpaintingcompany.com, boom, enter. They have a one-page website there that looks really professional. So at least have that. Ideally, you have a lot more than that, right? So SEO, this is where when I go on Google and I say, hey, Google, I want to actually get a recommendation from you, you have to have more than one page website. So that's where SEO, now Google is recommending you. Now they're searching for painter. They're also seeing you in the Google business profile. So that we call it the map pack, that kind of three sections, that those three companies that you see listed at the top with the reviews and everything, that little Google section, that's the Google business profile section. They're seeing you there. The local service ads. If you're running LSA, just put in LSA, Google local service ads. That's that little green check mark. So where it says Google guarantee, the little check mark at the very, very top of Google, run LSA. I'm going to tell you guys that. I'm not going to dive super into it today. Again, a lot of this stuff I've talked about for hours, but local service ads, run it. It is the future of Google. A lot of their development dollars are going into local service ads. So do not get left behind on that. If you're not running LSA, run LSA. Meta ads. So meta ads, this is Facebook and Instagram. You want to be there, even if it's just small retargeting ads, even if it's a few $100s a month. Ideally, you're spending a couple $1,000 a month, but if it's a few $100s a month, at least for people who have been to your website, you're retargeting them. They're seeing you. You're staying top of mind for them. And then Google pay-per-click. If you don't have a budget of probably at least $4,000 a month, I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's for a little bit bigger companies, but Google pay-per-click can be highly, highly effective if you have the budget. It's also highly effective for commercial. So if you're on a commercial painting company, you should be running Google pay-per-click ads. Here's some proof here. So SEO leads, we see that they convert at over 85%. SEO lead is a hot lead. SEO just means somebody searched for you on Google, right? Or it could be Bing. It's typically going to be Google. I'm going to go ahead and there's something called AEO. Everyone says, well, Google, maybe it doesn't matter anymore because everyone's using ChatGPT. It's like 0.4% of the traffic right now is coming from ChatGPT. That will increase over time, but a lot of the fundamentals that apply for SEO are also going to get you ranked on ChatGPT and other AI search engines. So just so you're aware, Google still is the behemoth and the same concepts are going to apply. But when I go into Google or I go into ChatGPT and I search, those leads convert really high because I am investing my time. I am a serious buyer. I'm a serious prospect. I'm truly in the market. And I'm already investing my time doing research. And then when Google or ChatGPT shows me you at the top, my trust is already pretty high. So at that point, if you have the dialed in sales system, if you have all the stuff we're getting into, there's a good chance you can close me. LSAs are still a gold mine. So these are a pay per lead. That's one of the things I love about LSA right now. It's pay per lead. It's a Google lead. Whereas Google pay per click, the traditional ads, it's pay per click. So if somebody clicks on it and then they just leave, or they don't even go to your website, or it's a bot or whatever, then you pay, right? But local service ads is actually a lead. It's a phenomenal deal. So some of the negative thoughts are, hey, the leads are too small. They want small project. I don't care, right? If you talk about what we're talking about here, they wanted a bathroom painted. Who cares? Go in, paint the bathroom, crush it, and then own the whole neighborhood, right? All that stuff, those small projects, just a foot in the door for you. The first lead is just a foot in the door for you to own a whole lot more. And then meta works when you're running meta ads. So if you look over here on the side, this is Daniel. Actually, when you're running meta ads, make it personal. So as opposed to everyone wants to kind of show the before and after, the professional, maybe a crew working is decent. But make it personal, just putting up pictures of your family, you outside of the beach with your dog. I mean, stuff like that. It blends more native to the platform. It makes people feel related to you. People want to do business with people. They don't want to do business with companies. You can see there are 257 comments on or likes and hearts and whatnot on this thing, over 87 comments. So that's a lot of interaction for an ad. All those comments, by the way, are basically testimonials. Like, hey, we used them. They're great. Hey, check them out. Make sure you do X, Y, Z. When you have those comments and some are negative, oh, they're a scam. Oh, they priced us way too high. Don't do this. Hire someone. Hide those comments. Hide them. Don't delete them. Hide them. That's best practice for Facebook. When people leave you a comment and it's positive, when they're saying, hey, these guys are great, they did my XYZ, reply. So someone's got to be manning that. We do it for our partners at Painter Marketing Pros, but somebody's got to be manning that because you have to reply and you have to manage those comments. Don't just let those rack up without paying attention. What matters for attraction, it's not the hacks. Everybody wants the silver bullet. Everybody wants the easy button. Guys, there's no easy button. I hate to break that to you. There's no easy button. If you do the fundamentals really well, you win. That's it, right? Do the fundamentals really well and you win. There's AI stuff coming. There are different things that you can tools that you can put into your arsenal. But at the end of the day, this is not rocket science. It's not. It's building an incredible amount of trust with the homeowner or the commercial property owner. It's staying top of mind with them. It's having a funnel to actually pull in these leads, so attracting these leads, and then it's having a tight sales process. That's how you win. And none of that stuff is rocket science. None of that stuff is this shiny object. There's this brand new thing that you need to do. It's being really, really good at the business fundamentals. But as AI evolves, as our scam alert goes higher and higher and higher, it becomes more and more critical that you have this holistic approach. So consistency, have covered, message alignment, know actually who you're serving and what they care about. Reviews. Oh my goodness. Reviews. A minimum of 1 out of every 3 of your projects, you need to get a 5-star review. A minimum of 1 out of 3. If you guys are comfortable, if you're not comfortable, if you're like, man, I don't remember last time I got a 5-star review. If you want to put in your review rate, like, hey, 40% of the projects we get a 5-star review. 10%. If you guys are comfortable, put in your review rate. I'd love to see some of these. If you're uncomfortable, like, I'm not putting that in, that's okay as well. But I'd love to kind of see where you guys are at. I'll tell you, Michael Cheney, you'll hear from her later. She's one of our partners. She's at over 50%. So when you do the right things the right way, it's huge. And then speed to 25% is not bad, Preston. You want to be, I'd say, at least 33%. So you're close. And then speed to lead, especially when you're advertising, when you're going on Meta, when you're doing things like this, and you're going out and you're finding people, you have to be like that. People are impatient. Amazon kind of wrecked that for us. Pillar 2, convert. So you need to turn attention into revenue. Speed wins. When someone reaches out to you for an estimate, you have to be in touch with them within 60 seconds. 60 seconds. Not an hour, not at lunch, not same day, not this week, not probably sometime this year, hopefully, within 60 seconds. That's how fast this has to be. You have to have a system to do that. You have to have a CRM. There has to be automation plus manual in doing this. This is what we have. So we use a software called High Level. When a lead comes in, whether that lead is from Facebook or Google or wherever it's from, direct mail, however it is, we're going to have it. We're going to tag it. So CRM just stands for Customer Relationship Management Software. It's just a place where you can have all the leads. So all the people who have expressed interest in your business, they come in here. You guys are getting, sorry, I want you to win. You guys are getting a lot of texts, a lot of emails from me right now. That's this. We're using this to do that, right? So you don't have to do it as we do it really aggressively for our events. You wouldn't want to do quite that heavy, but you probably want to go a lot more aggressively than you are going right now. I will tell you that. So it's going to come in, it's going to tag the lead. Now all of a sudden, you know where your leads are coming from. So many painters don't even know where their leads are coming from. So now you know where the leads are coming from, and then you're going to reach out. So you're going to have an automated phone call 24/7. Hire someone, use a call center, figure out how to do it in after hours and on the weekends, because guess what? A lot of people who have money, they also have jobs. And so they can't necessarily call the painting company at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. They might be more able to call them on a Saturday or 7. So have a system. So when they actually fill out the form, it actually calls your phone number. It's a bot. Says, John Smith just filled out your lead form. Press 1 to be connected to John Smith. Now you press 1. It forces what's called an outbound dial. You're basically on the phone. It doesn't have to be you. It shouldn't be you. I don't expect you as the owner to sit up all night. But this is a system. You build a system. We do it for our partners. And so we have a text goes out, an email goes out, a phone call goes out. We are on it with that homeowner. We're saying, hey, you cared enough to give us your information. You cared enough to request an estimate. We care enough to get in touch with you right away. We care enough to start treating you right and start having our customer journey be stellar from the minute you connect with us, not if maybe you pay us, then maybe it will be really good. And maybe you'll hear back. You submitted the form. It's been like 8 hours. You haven't heard from us. We're not going to do that. And then we're going to follow up. Well, I called them. They didn't answer. I called them the next day. They didn't answer. Bad lead. We're going to follow up for a freaking year. A year. But Brandon, aren't they going to be so pissed off? No. A lot of times, right? Because you don't just bombard them like 20 times a day, kind of like we're doing with you guys right now. You don't do that for a year. We have this cadence, right? And you start to taper it, and then you stop really texting. You just text very intermittently, and you move to email. I cannot tell you how many times, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months down the line, people say, man, like, thanks for reaching back out. Yeah, sorry, a bunch of stuff happened. I would like that estimate. Life's busy. I mean, we've all left stuff in our shopping cart online. We've all gone and kind of gone halfway down a task, and then something swooped us in and we couldn't finish it out. It doesn't mean the project's done. I would encourage you guys, for any leads that you've gotten for exterior painting projects, any leads you've gotten over the past 3 months that you did not land, drive by the house, have somebody, pay somebody on your team. Say, hey, here's a list of addresses of leads that we got and we didn't close. Drive by, mark down the ones that are painted and mark down the ones that aren't. I bet there are a lot that aren't. And I bet if you picked up the phone, that will pay for your time right now in spades. If you picked up the phone and you just called those people from the last 3 months, if you're not already doing that, who requested an exterior estimate that you can see they didn't get it done, no other painters reaching out to them. They went on a little bit of a blitz. They probably requested an estimate from you, maybe from a couple other, and then they just quit. They still need the painting project. You don't quit. You reach back out. You're the painting company that cared enough. You'll get some closes right there. Lead handling must have. So meta leads are colder than SEO. So when you're running paid ads, just a general concept, when people come to you, so Jane recommended you to me. Can I get a quote? I'm pretty bought in. Jane, the risk factor is low. My trust is high. You treated Jane well. Jane's a good friend of mine. I'm pretty sure you're going to treat me well. You almost have to screw up to lose that, right? So the trust is pretty high. Next down, SEO. I searched on Google. Google recommended you. You have a ton of reviews. I see all over Google. Trust is still pretty high. I see a meta ad. I saw an advertisement. Trust isn't that high. Not really. It was high enough that I gave you my information. And then I started doing some research, which built my trust, because now you have a solid website, you have solid reviews, you have all, so the trust is being built. But from the very beginning, trust isn't that high because you came to me. I didn't come to you. And so now that's where that speed to lead, that's where that building value, that's where that professional presence, that's where that multiple touch points, that's where that comes in, because you have to build that trust. This is your sales process. Sales and marketing are two different things, but they're very related. They're not that different. It's a continuum. That's why it's sales and marketing. It's a continuum. Marketing then bleeds into sales. It's all one thing. And so aim to follow up within minutes. We say 60 seconds, not hours. Respond to all ad comments, and then treat comments like warm reply. Here's another thing, guys. When you put up posts, or posts don't get that much engagement right now, but when you run ads and you get some of those comments, some of them will be, hey, do you guys do blah, blah, blah? Do you stain decks? Hey, do you serve blah, blah, blah area? Those are leads. If you do the thing that they're asking about, or you serve the area that they're asking about, we get more leads from those. So we'll get leads that people that fill out the form. And then we'll also get leads, just people asking questions, leaving comments. Hey, I'm interested. Boom, pick up the phone, call them, send them a DM online. Those are leads. So be attentive, because a lot of times we see painting companies just ignore that stuff. Ultimately, run a meta ad, start with over 2,000 a month. That's our recommendation. We require at least 1,000 for the partners that work with us. Don't hire an agency. Don't start down this process for like $500 a month. That just doesn't make any sense. So that's why I say you have to have at least a couple grand that you're ready to invest into marketing if you really want to do this stuff. If you don't, guess what? Walk out the door, knock on doors. You're either paying with your time and sweat equity, or you're paying with your money, right? That's how business works. So if you're like, man, I'm not going to invest a couple $1,000s a month into marketing, no way. Cool. Pick up the phone, make some calls. Go join a BNI. Go join a chamber of commerce. Go knock some doors. You don't have to spend money, but you got to do something to grow your business. So start with over 2,000 a month. If you're going to run ads, target cost please under $60. So just across all channels. That goes up seasonally, right? That's going to go up around Black Friday, Cyber Monday. If you're up north, you have a lot of competition for Q4. That will fluctuate. Use an engagement program to manage paid. This is responding to all the comments. Assign someone to actually do that. So make sure you're doing that, and then leverage the PMP sales process. What I talked about with the automations with the CRM, to make sure you get a human being on the phone with them within 60 seconds. And then pillar 3 is compound, right? So this is where, if you don't have a plan to turn one customer into 2, you're burning profit. So when you get a lead, when you get a customer, that's just the entry point. That is not the thing. It's just the first thing. When I walk into Jane Doe's house, Jane Doe and I are going to be lifelong friends. She's going to do business with me for as long as she lives in that house. Not only that, her neighbors are going to do business with me. The whole neighborhood is going to do, because I'm going to serve her at a high level. And that starts with quite frankly, it starts before Jane Doe even reached out to me. It started with all the reviews that I have. It started with my presence online. It started with how professional my process is. Then once she reaches out, it starts with how I treat her, how quickly I'm in touch with her, the different content I'm giving her, how I'm answering her questions. Before I show up for an estimate, I'm giving her a what you can expect video. Who else is doing that? Hey, thanks so much for requesting an estimate from Brandon Painting Company. I want to walk you through what you can expect from our team. We're going to show up. We're going to blah, 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 blah. This is about how long it typically takes. We're so excited to meet with you. Jane hasn't had a painting company in a long time. Maybe this is Jane's first house. Maybe she's never hired a painting company. She has no idea. Are they going to come out for 10 minutes? Is it going to be like 4 hours? What are they going to do? Is there anything I need to do in the house to prepare for them? Break it down for Jane. Now all of a sudden you're her confidant. You're her advisor, right? And then Chuck in his truck, he rolls up. He's like, yeah, it's probably about $2,000. Could do that for you. Who does she trust? Jane's not going to go with Chuck. Heck no. So have a plan, get the reviews, get the referrals, get the repeat business, have something hard collateral. Again, AI, all the spam, get something in somebody's hand, get a physical thing into their hand before you leave. Have a repeat referral program, reach out to people. I'm a huge fan. Nick May has a concept called, and this one's a little ballsy. Nick May has a concept called free interior touch-ups for life. Free interior touch-ups for life. So when you do an interior project, you can say, hey, so things happen. Dings happen, scratches happen. You guys are living life. You got kids, you got a dog, whatever, right? So dings happen. We want this to look as good as new forever for you. So what we're going to actually do, what's included in our interior program, you can make this an upsell. What's included is we're going to do free interior touch-ups for life. That means every single year on the anniversary of your project, we're going to come back out here and we're going to do touch-ups for you. And we're not going to charge anything. What? How can you do? You can't pay guys to come out and do work for, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard, right? Except it's not, because you're going to cap it on an hour, and those are sales calls. The big fear of contractors is you are going to screw them. You're going to come in, you're going to mess up their house, you're not going to do the work, the paint's going to chip, whatever. Something bad is going to happen. They paid you, you screwed them, and then you don't come back. You're going to not only come back, you're going to just come back voluntarily and do it for free, because what you're doing is you're keeping that customer for life. Every single year, you're going to come back for an hour. How much do you pay for a lead? You're paying for your estimator, as Jason says, your project consultant. You're paying for them to go out there anyways. You're going to train somebody to go do touch-ups, and you're going to train them to be in that homeowners. You're not going to be pushy, but you're going to train them to get additional business. You're going to train them to give them a referral and a repeat hard copy collateral again while you're in the home. All you're doing is saying, hey, Mr. Homeowner, hey, Miss Homeowner, here's our quote. Here's our quote. Here's what the project's going to be. By the way, can we charge you more money, because we're offering this really cool thing that no one else is offering? Can we charge you more money? Can you still say yes, because we're offering this cool thing that no one else is offering? You can't believe we're doing it. And we have reviews and stuff that talk about it, so you know it's real, and video testimonials. And then can we come back and can we sell to you again every year on the end? Is that okay? Can I come to your home and just sell to you every year, and you be really happy about it because I'm serving you? Guys, that's a hack, man. That's a hack. Most people, they come to these webinars, they come to these events, and they don't do anything. Do that. Make sure you have a process, because you do have to have a process for that. Make sure you have a process. But if that's not a hack, I don't know what is. The compounding effect. So attract, convert, compound. This stuff works together to ultimately get you more leads, to build trust as those leads come in, and then to make every lead more valuable for you as you go along. So here's what you need to know. 2026 shift. There are 3 numbers that matter to you guys. There's your cost per qualified estimate. Notice I didn't say cost per lead. Well, that lead wasn't bad. Well, they didn't answer the phone. What about the company that followed up 3 months and then they didn't answer the phone? And they say, you know what? Thanks so much for following back up. Yeah, I would like that estimate now. Well, now it was an estimate versus the company that abandoned it after 2 days. Well, it was a bad lead, right? So cost per qualified estimate. This has to do with the lead. It also has a lot to do with you. Your set rate, that has a whole lot to do with you. If you get in touch with them within 60 seconds, your set rate is going to be, I think my mathematical calculation would be a bazillion % higher than if it's like an hour or 10 hours later. And then your close rate. How good's your sales process? How much value did you deliver before you walked into the home or to the commercial property premise, right? What's your close rate? I mean, there's so much variability there. That's where you hire Jason Phillips and his team. So everything else is noise. And most painting companies are plateauing because even while they're generating leads, their sales system isn't improving. It's not turning those leads into more value. They're not following up. They're certainly not focused on repeat and referral business. They're just always hungry for new leads, churn and burn. And then the brand doesn't compound. They're not getting reviews. They're not getting video testimonials. They're not getting photos. They're not getting before and after. So once the leads dry up, if they dry up, it's like they never had them in the first place. They're just a brand new company starting over. That's not very smart. So what 2026 rewards companies who operate like media companies? That's the game. You got to operate like a media company now. Those who show up everywhere their buyer looks, and those who build a flywheel, not a funnel. So question, this is for you guys to ask yourselves. How many parts of the flywheel, how many parts of the things that we talked about are missing in your business today? I'd love if somebody could say just everything. Put everything. If you have everything, if your website is dialed in, you do retargeting ads on Meta. So when they come to your website, people find you. You're running really solid Google pay-per-click ads and Google local service ads. Your SEO is dialed in. So when people search for best painter near me, exterior painter near me, painter St. Petersburg, they go to ChatGPT and they're searching. You're at the top every time. You're in Google Business Profile every time. When they reach out to you, you're in touch with them within 60 seconds. You're building value before you show up. You're providing that estimate within 3 days. You're giving them what you can expect, a video of that. Your estimator, project consultant, sending a little selfie video before they go over, so you know you're coming. Hey, John, it's Jack with ABC Painting Company. On my way. Looking forward to discussing your project in 15 minutes. When you do the project, you have some unique value propositions like free interior touch-ups for life. You have a really good follow-up process for people that didn't close to continue to add value. You have repeat and referral program that you hand them. You're door knocking. You're hitting that neighborhood when you go to. You're getting reviews over 30 or over 50% of the time. You're following up and getting repeat customers almost every single time. Referrals. Put everything. I would be amazed. I'll follow up with you if you put it, because I don't think anybody has that. That's like gold standard. And if you're missing any pieces of that, then the value of the lead is less for you. So I don't expect you to have that, but that's the gold standard. So how many parts of the flywheel are missing in your business today? Where is your inconsistency costing you money? And what would happen if you had that? I didn't even get to everything, but what would happen? Can you imagine how valuable your leads would be and how valuable your business would be if you had all of that? So here's what we're offering today. We've never made this offer before. Again, we've worked with over 400 companies. I've talked with thousands and thousands. I run a podcast. I think we've done 200 hours of podcast interviews. Check it out, Painter Marketing Mastermind podcast. We have some experience. We generate a quarter billion, 300,000 plus leads. So here's what you're going to get. So this is for Paint the Future attendees only. It's a killer offer for you. Please pay attention. So I talked about how the sponsors have different offers. This is a killer one for you. So the full flywheel audit, we're going to go through everything I just said, and then some. We're going to look at for your business. We're going to deep dive with you, look at every single component of your business, of the attract, convert, compound, and we're going to look for gaps. We're going to look for areas of improvement. This is a $1,500 value. Then we're going to move into the CPA style missed revenue map. So based on that audit, we're going to essentially see the pieces that are missing, and then we're going to assign revenue values to it, and then figure out how we're going to make up that revenue, right? So this is actually the action plan. So the first is the audit. Then we have the action plan. That is a $2,000 value. We're then going to dive into your cost per lead, those three numbers we talked about, your cost per lead, your set rate, and your close rate, your diagnostics. We're going to look at those numbers. We have a lot of painting companies behind us. We work closely with Daniel. We know what these numbers should be, and we know why they're not where they should be when they're not. So we're going to look into that. It's a $1,000 value. These numbers are conservative. If you actually think about what we're delivering, what it would do for your business, they're very conservative. We're going to set up a 90-day growth plan. So we've done a full audit. We've looked at everything. We've mapped out the missed revenue opportunities and what that means for your business. We've now mapped out some core metrics, the three numbers that matter, and what you need to do to improve them. We're now going to put all of that into a 90-day growth plan that we're going to build out and deliver to you. We're going to have a channel budget blueprint for 2026. So as part of this 90-day growth plan, we're not only going to give you the plan, we're going to break it down by channel. So exactly what you need to do. I've mentioned some of the channels today. There are a lot of channels. That's $1,500 value. We are then going to look into your sales and funnel bottleneck analysis. We've looked at everything. We've created the revenue map. We've drilled into your numbers. Now we need to dive into your sales process. Where are our bottlenecks here? It's a $1,000 value. Then we're going to go into your priority fix list. We're going to give you so much stuff. It's like, hey, Brandon, Painter Marketing Pros, chill out. I can't do all this stuff. Cool. We're going to do the top 5 moves. Here's what you need to do now. What are the biggest levers that you can pull right now to grow your business? We are going to do this, and we're going to unlock at least $50,000 in revenue in your business. It's going to be $50,000 to $250,000 plus in your business. That's a $2,500 value. The value of this conservatively, look at this, think about your business, think whether it would help you. The value of this conservatively is $11,500. That's not what the price is going to be for you. So your price right now, $497. This is a limited offer. You must be on this webinar to take advantage of it, and it is capped. Space is capped here. We are not going to offer this to everybody. We're going to identify at least $50,000 in unlocked revenue, or we're going to pay you $1,000, or we're going to pay you $1,000 because we know we're going to do it. If we don't do it, we pay you $1,000. So if you're interested in scaling, if any of what I said today seems like, yeah, that would probably help. I think I'm missing a couple of those gaps. Go ahead, scan that QR code or go to that URL, book that. It's $497. We're going to give you all of that. We're going to send you an onboarding form. We're going to work with you to onboard. Then we're going to sit down with you for 90 minutes. We're going to lay out everything. We're going to have pre-built it before we meet with you. We're going to lay it all out. Then we're going to build more stuff after that meeting and deliver it to you. So you're going to have absolutely everything. If we don't achieve what we're promising here, if we don't have a minimum, hey, we've stacked out 50,000. Do you feel like we've delivered over $50,000? No, this doesn't add up. $1,000. So book it. We are capping this. We can only do this for so many people. We can't do this forever. This is a very laborious thing. Our goal is to position you for success in 2026. I appreciate the fact that you guys tuned in. I appreciate the fact that you showed up, and I want you to crush. I want this event to be a life-changing experience for you. I want this to be the best thing that you've done for your painting company yet. And so go ahead and book that call, and we're pumped to help you scale. Daniel.
Amazing stuff, Brandon. Folks, take advantage of this offer. I know Brandon put so much into this that he was talking to me about this before, and he's like, I don't know, this is a lot. He was a little nervous, and it's a good offer when he's nervous, because he's putting himself out there. He's putting his team to work on this one. So you got to take advantage of this offer here. All right, we got some questions from Paul. For my website, can I add SEO by fine printing at the bottom of the site a ton of hashtags, keywords, just for the search engine's sake?
I love that you asked that, Paul. Like 20 years ago, you could. No, you cannot. There used to be that. You could do stuff like that. What people would do, it's kind of like gray hat and black hat tactics. It's stuff that is against the terms of service. That doesn't work anymore. But what people used to do was put all these words, and they would put it like white, right? So if the background's white, you can't see any of the words. If you kind of pulled over, you could see all these crazy words in there that were just keywords that they're trying to rank for. That stuff doesn't work anymore. So no, I would not recommend that.
Another question from Leonella. What can I use for automation for reviews and leads?
So we use, so that's any kind of CRM software. So we use High Level, gohighlevel.com. We use that for all of our partners. We use it for ourselves. So you build what's called workflows. And I don't want to go too far down this, but I'll just give you high level. You build what's called workflows. And so when you have the CRM, you basically build these decision trees, right? And you can move people over. If you've ever used a CRM, you can move people over and they'll basically get emails or SMS. And we showed our new lead workflow. So what happens when a new lead comes in, we kind of showed you the back end there. And what I explained to you what happens on the front end, that there's a call, there's SMS, there's email, there's reach out kind of throughout a year. You do the same thing for reviews. I will tell you, here's the trick with reviews. You can't fully automate it. So it's automated plus manual. That's how you win with reviews. Here's how you win with reviews. So you show up, the project manager, whoever's running that project, they're going to show up. They're going to make a verbal agreement with the homeowner or the commercial property owner before the project starts. Hey, Mr. Homeowner, thanks so much again for partnering with us on this project. Want to knock it out of the park for you. If it's okay with you, I want to make this the best experience you've ever had with a contractor, right? So I'm going to do my best to earn a 5-star review from you. If there is any issue, if something's bothering you, don't feel like you can't tell me. Reach out right away. I want to make it right. I want to make sure we're absolutely knocking it out of the park for you, and try to make this a 5-star experience for you. Does that work for you, Mr. Homeowner? They're going to say yes. They're not going to say no. Right? They're going to say, yeah. Now you got a verbal agreement. Now you're going to do a good job. You are going to take feedback well. If they say, hey, I don't like blah, 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 you're not going to have an attitude about it. You're going to take it well. You're going to deliver at a high level. Then you're going to circle back at the end. Hey, you're going to, have gone through the punch list. Everything's good. Hey, Mr. Homer, were we able to do it? What were we? Well, if you remember, I wanted to make this a 5-star experience for you. Were we able to do that? Yeah. No, like I said, it looks good, man. Wow. Would you be willing to leave us a review? Sure. You know what? Sometimes people have a hard time finding our Google, running into technical issues. I actually have a card here. It's what I call a customer happiness card. It's got a little QR code. I have a card. Do you have your phone on you? Can I actually just walk you through this real fast? Yeah, sure. Okay. If you just take your camera out and you scan it, it's actually going to pull up Google. We can just knock this out right now. Google review. That's how you get the reviews. The automations are there to assist. So you have automations that follow up and ask for the review. For reviews, they're less effective than manual, but we combine them both.
I love this next question from Gerson. How often should I follow up with a client or lead? Once a week?
Oh God, no. Those are different questions. So if it's a client, if you're doing the project, I recommend a daily check-in. That's the above and beyond. If it's a 2-day, 3-day project, give them a wrap up at the end of the day. Hey, here's what we're doing. Here's what we've got. Here's what we're going to cover tomorrow. Give them an update the next morning. People want to know what's going on. If it's a new lead, no, you should be following up daily for at least a couple of weeks and then space it out. You should be doing some phone calls, leaving some voicemails as a human. So it's not just automations. It's not just, hey, you guys are texting me so many times. There's text and email, but there's also follow-up. People think, I don't want to bother them. They want you to bother them. That's why they gave you the information. They gave you the information because they're interested. If you just reach out once and I'm going to wait a week because I don't want to upset them and I'm going to reach out again, it's actually kind of disrespectful because they already want you to contact them. And if you don't do it and you run a good company, how many painting companies are not good companies? I would argue the vast majority of them are not very good companies. So if you don't close that project, you're leaving them for Chuck, who's going to screw them. You have an obligation to serve them at that point.
Another question from Lindsay. Where do you draw the line when it comes to those free touch-ups?
Yeah. So awesome question, Lindsay. So cap it at an hour. So there's going to be terms to it, right? So it's, hey, we're going to come up and do touch-ups up to an hour. Some people won't even want you to come back, but you called them. You called them and you offered to come back. Say, yeah, no, wow. Yeah, I appreciate that. Wait, who is this again? Oh, it's Brandon with ABC Painting Company. Hopefully they're not, because I kept in touch with them more throughout the year. But it's Brandon with ABC Painting Company. Yeah, we painted your house interior a year ago. We offer free interior charges. I want to go ahead and schedule time, make sure we touch up everything, make sure that painting project's looking good as new for you. I actually think I think I'm okay. Wow. Okay. Awesome. Well, if you change your mind, let me know. I'm going to reach out to you next year. I also want to let you know we're running a special right now. So if do you have any friends or neighbors or family we're running this special right now, blah, blah, blah. So at a very minimum, you have a sales call on the phone. Likely you have a sales appointment in person, and you are capping it at 1 hour of touch-ups. They're not going to be mad. You're doing touch-ups for free, and no other company in the world is doing that.
I think we got time for maybe one other one. Paul has a question on meta ads. What's the best target audience? If I am trying to optimize it.
Sweet question, Paul. Yeah. So keep it pretty open-ended, especially with the Andromeda update. So Meta is let their algorithm do their thing. So when we're running meta ads, we don't do a bunch of interest. We don't do a bunch of targeting. I say if you're running meta ads yourself and you're not ultra experienced, make it demographic 35 and up, make it radius targeting. So as a painting company, keep in mind radius is as the crow flies. So it's not like, well, I drive 10 miles. If you do 10-mile radius, you might drive 20 miles. So as the crow flies, look at what the radius look like. That's more effective than zip code targeting. Do like probably a 10-mile radius, do 35 and up, and just let it rip. That would be my best advice for targeting if you're running them yourself and you haven't done a ton of that.
All right, good stuff. All right, we're shifting gears into thanking our sponsors and giving them an opportunity to show us some stuff. Brendan, I think we got Painter Growth, one of our silver sponsors. We have a video from them.
Yeah, let's hear them. So they're a double silver sponsor. If you want to learn more about the topics we discussed in this podcast and how you can use them to grow your painting business, Visit paintermarketingpros.com/podcast for free training, as well as the ability to schedule a personalized strategy session for your painting company. Again, that URL is paintermarketingpros.com/podcast. Hey there, painting company owners. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give us your feedback. Let us know how we did. And also, if you're interested in taking your painting business to the next level, make sure you visit the Painter Marketing Pros website at paintermarketingpros.com to learn more about our services. You can also reach out to me directly by emailing me at brandon@paintermarketingpros.com, and I can give you personalized advice on growing your painting business. Until next time, keep growing.